Well, the cover story of this month's Madison Magazine dives into Madison's underwater history, the long-lost stories of what lies beneath.
Unearthing the story is author and News 3 Now assignment editor Logan Rood.
Hi, Logan. Did I just see you in the newsview?
Yeah, a little bit ago, a couple minutes.
Glad you can make the trip all the way out here.
Yeah, it was long and treacherous.
Yes.
Now, I think we've all looked out over Madison's lakes. They're beautiful lakes. That's why Madison is here, because of these lakes. And wonder, what's underneath all that water? And you've uncovered, dug up some pretty interesting stuff.
Well, I personally did not do any of the
didn't.
digging, but yeah, it's a treasure trove of a lot of different things. You would probably assume a lot of trash, which is certainly there, but a lot of historic artifacts too. We're talking as recently as the 1950s, all the way back to thousands of years ago.
And you profiled diver Rick Kruger.
Yep, Rick Kruger, known as Radio Rick in sort of the local diving community. He's got a long history of scanning the bottom of the lake beds and making these intricate maps of some really notable points throughout the lake bottoms for diving exploration, fishing, and all those types of things.
And I don't know how much you want to share, and really you should read the story, everyone. It's great, but he found a clue in a long-time cold case.
Yeah, so this is actually a story that ended up making national headlines back in the mid-2000s. A buddy of his had tipped him off about a boat that was rumored to be somewhere along the shore near the MG&E plant on Lake Monona. Turns out wasn't actually there, and he stumbled upon this car wreck that was in Lake Wabisa. After a little bit of examination down the line, it ended up to be the car of two men who went missing late one night in, I believe it was the 1950s, after a night of drinking. They drove their car out onto the lake and no one saw them again. So Rick was sort of the lucky man who stumbled upon the wreck of that car and solved that cold case. Yeah.
They got the plates off it, and
they got the plates, did a little
DOJ?
double checking with the DOT, and it all came back as a match.
And Rick's got a lot of new fancy toys that makes this a lot more precise.
He certainly does. Sort of technology called side sonar scans, basically a rig that you would mount on the side of your boat, and it sends down some sonar signals that bounces off whatever's at the bottom of the lake. That comes back and sort of puts together an image of what's at the bottom.
One of my favorite parts of your story, you know, it's easy to think in the movie of life, we are the main characters and then the lake is supporting. Flip that and reverse it. The lake is the main character because it's been here for so long. How cool was that, learning about the history?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a huge thing for me. I just a history buff in general, and the sort of astonishing fact, you know, people have lived in the Madison area, the lake watershed area here for about 12,000 years. Part of this story, one of the big discoveries that was made over the past couple years, is a pair of Ho-Chunk Nation dugout canoes. We've covered that here at News 3, and just astonishing connections for thousands and thousands of years between indigenous people and the lakes that, like you mentioned, we're just sort of side supporting characters of at this point.
In Otis Redding's plane, they found that?
They found the plane, and one of the engines that fell off this sort of bi-engine plane is still lost somewhere, presumably in Lake Monona when it crashed decades ago. Still one of Rick's sort of lost treasures that he's hoping to find one day.
And really quick, you love the lakes. Was this just a love affair for you to write about them?
You know, it was a happy coincidence. I've got some history with the magazine, and when Andy, the editor over there, asked if I'd be interested, it was an instant yes.
Pick up a copy. It's a great read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Logan, congratulations.
Thank you much.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, guys.